everybody, I'm SJM. Welcome back to Opolis Inc. We're continuing our journey into applied energistics today. Today we'll get our feet firmly planted into the ground there, but let's just take a quick look at the quest line. So in preparation, I did, tick off a couple of the first things. So the inscriber we just buy in the catalog. It is quite pricey per inscriber, is 32 basic storage bucks. But if you've been keeping up with your wood production, this should not be a huge deal because it's just logs or chests to get those. The only hint I have on that is not to do like a lot at one time. So every so often I'll come over and I'll buy up a few when the demand level has returned, because the only thing we want to avoid here is getting this demand down too low where we're not getting good return on our dollary dues there. So that's always the tricky part. 0.8. Yeah, 0.7 is always a good place to stop off there. And we're going to need quite a lot of these in the playthrough anyways, so you kind of don't want to shoot yourself in the foot by trading away like a full drawer full of logs and then, trading them away at 10% of what you could be getting for them otherwise. I did get a good peek at my inventory. I've been a busy little bee prepping for this episode, but we should be able to fly through it pretty quickly. We'll just be waiting on the inscriber to do its thing there. We also ground down some of the sky stone just in a crusher there, just to have some on hand for the crafting we need to do. Let's pop along the bottom one here first, because we are going to be waiting on this entroized. I'm guessing on that one. If you know, let me know, and then I can say it properly in the future. But first we need to get this entro seed, but this is pretty basic stuff. It's just a sand, 3 ender dust, 2 glowstone dust, a skystone dust, and 2 redstone dust. And that gets us 2 of those guys there. And then we mix it with a block of fluix, which I did not keep on me. Do have a little bit of fluix left from the last episode, but we may as well do this the fast way. So if we take nether quartz, redstone dust, and charged Certus quartz, and we throw it into water. And this is a basic applied energistics recipe. I'm pretty sure that's it. Oh, this has to be done in the assembler. It can't be done in world. Aha! We do get the crystal assembler in the next chapter. It's the first one in that chapter, but I'm not going to go for it just yet. I guess I can get the rest of my fluix the old-fashioned way, or the way I've been getting it so far. I almost have enough to get another little bit of it there, so give me a few seconds and we can... actually, let's just do that. Just craft those 2 together gets us one of those fully budding ones. And I'm going to put it up 1 off the ground there so that we can grow on all 6 sides. So now we've got that, it's in the world, and it can start doing its thing, growing the entro crystals, which we just break off of the off of there, like you would with amethyst or the regular Certus quartz if we had actually put this guy into the world instead of into the cloche. But for now, we can't put the fluid or the entroized fluix into the cloche for right now. Maybe we'll get access to that later, or maybe not. Time will tell, I guess. So there's the inscriber. I did also set up a basic automation for getting some charged Certus quartz. So just so that we've got a good amount of it on hand, because we can go through it pretty quickly when we do start needing it. But we're introduced to the inscriber up here. To get printed silicon, we need to use the inscriber with storage dollars. So advanced, elite, ultimate, or basic. We only have access to the basic right now, so we're only going to be getting, one to one for each of the silicon. And silicon comes from cooking Certus quartz dust. So I crushed up a bunch of Certus quartz as well, and then ran it through a furnace to get the dust, and then managed to put it together to get our first few printed silicon there. This machine is really slow, so I queued that up earlier just so we wouldn't have to wait on it for too long. Then the next 3 recipes of the printed circuits is all done similarly in the inscriber. So for the logic circuit, it's a piece of gold. For the engineering, it's a diamond, and for the calculation circuit, it is just regular Certus quartz. And let's do this before we get rudely interrupted. Six up there. And you can see this, that's not too bad. The silicon was actually quite slow compared to these logic circuits or calculation circuit. And then I wanted to do for the gold for the logic circuits. That's the one I'm thinking of. And then you use these. Pretty much the only use for these is to put them back in there with one of the printed silicon and a redstone dust, and then that turns them into the processors. So it's exactly the same as all the other ones, just doing it with the... Oh, that goes there, that goes there, and that goes there. And as those get prepared, then we can have access to the logic processor, which is the only one we need really to continue moving forward in the quest line here. Because we're looking at getting our first storage component. So crafting this guy up, pretty straightforward, just some Certus quartz and some redstone along with that logic processor that we just made. Hopefully the rest are made by now. They are. Now we've got 4 of those. And then one of those surrounded by charged Certus gets us our advanced storage license. Then the only use for the advanced storage license is 2 ME storage components gets us 5 of the advanced storage bucks. So once we get to that point, we can then double the amount of circuits that we get out of each of those things, or we could also, progress forward Buying an ME drive is going to cost us 4 of those advanced storage bucks. And then the other things that we can buy in there are the housings, so that we take the storage component that we got, we put it in a housing, and that's what we can use inside the ME drive to get our digital storage. There's a couple other components we need before we can actually get there, but that's what's it there. And then we've also got the pocket storage units here. If you're familiar with those are really, really handy, especially if you're doing manual mining, but don't need to stop and get any of those just right now. Let's pop in here, get our first advanced dollars. Wait, that only took... one? Oh, because there's a variation on it. That's why. So the variation plus or minus 1. So can be 1, 2, or 3 to get 5 advanced storage bucks. And the amount of storage bucks you get is dependent on the demand level down here. So if your demand level falls too low, you're not getting the dollars back out that you really should be. But that's good. Let's keep a couple of those back for now. And next we've got just a basic tick quest. 1K and 4K item, fluid, and chemical cells can be used to craft the elite storage license. So that's this guy right here. So the elite storage license, we do need to get the housing, and then we need to surround it with entro infused ingots in order to get the next storage license. So we are at the point where we're waiting on the crystals to grow over here. So I'm pretty sure this is going to work the same as the Certus quartz, in that if I break off one of these before it's fully formed, I'll get a shard, right? And then we need 8 of those to get one of these entro crystals. But if we just wait long enough, these will grow into the full-size ones themselves rather than breaking them off at this intermediate stage. But that is going to take some time, and for now, I guess I'm just going to be doing some more collecting of that while I wait for this to finish off. So we'll put it on a pause. It'll probably be quite some time, but we'll bring it back when I've got enough of this stuff to move forward, because we do need to get a controller is one of the other main components to getting digital storage going, and this is only buyable for 64 elite storage bucks, which we do have to sell off 16k storage components. So we'll need to do, obviously 8 of those, so 16Ks is what I'm going to need to move forward, and those are calculation processors and 4K ME storage components, and the 4Ks are made from the 1Ks plus more logic processors. So it's basically just lots of repeating of the steps that I had just done. So this is going to be quite the grind for right now. So this will probably be quite the lengthy pause, and I might be back if I do run out of time today for recording, and we might just cut it off somewhere in and around here before we actually get to, well, we might be able to get the storage license, but probably not the controller. But we do know the route to get there. And I guess the last 2 things that we do need that aren't in the quest line is going to be the terminal. the panel, P2P tunnels, and we'll need some cabling as well. It's only 3 pages here, and because all these are brand new, so Fluix cable we can use. And doing this live is always gonna make me look stupid, because I'm probably stared at it 10 times. But if we search for it, it's gonna be that much faster. So for my purposes right now, I don't need the full-on crafting terminal, but eventually you definitely do want to go up there. I just need the regular terminal so that I can get all of my things put onto the disks. So we'll need a annihilation core, a formation core, an illuminated panel, and a logic processor. The panel itself is viable, not viable. Interesting. Can't buy the crafting one, and the regular terminal needs the illuminated panel. Oh, okay, because it said bright on there. I get it. So we'll need some quartz glass. This is pretty simple. The quartz glass, we just need some of the Certus quartz dust and some regular glass. That's all pretty easily done there. And then the formation core and the annihilation core, just some Fluix dust. So basically just some more logic processors is what's needed there. And the annihilation core is just nether quartz instead of the Certus quartz in that position there to get your 2 cores. I guess I should bookmark these before I get too far along, right? Yeah, you'll definitely need 1 piece of Fluix cable to attach your panel to, and then you can put your ME drive, your controller, and the other thing together to get your basic system up and running. Right, I'm going to get rid of this rain and grind out a bunch of things, and we'll be back when we've grown some of that intro stuff. Alright, we do seem to have our first fully grown intro cluster. So there's the different stages, right? The small, medium. Oh, I don't have a large one here. That was the only large I had a second ago. But then after the large, it goes to the intro cluster. Then we need to take the intro cluster and crush it down. So you can either put it in an inscriber or into not a combiner, a chart or a crusher. We'll turn that into dust. You can regrow it, I guess, if you really wanted to. But to get the intro infused ingots, you then need to take that dust and throw it in the water with a gold and a lapis, and that will get us the intro infused ingot. And then we need 8 of these guys to get that next tier of storage license there. I did figure out one little bit of optimization, I guess you could say. Let's just get these 8 going again. I'm burning through my redstone dust quite quickly, so I'll be out of that fairly soon. I'm down to, yeah, basically just a stack of redstone left. So we'll have to fix that in the near future. Pushing Z or Z, you can zoom and use the scroll wheel to change the amount of zoom level that you get. Don't know if I've said that before in this series. It was new to me anyways when I first started going at it. And yeah, so for the basic, so doing silicon or the Certus quartz for the calculation processors, and I use the basic storage bucks and I don't worry about doubling it, but for your more, limiting resources like gold and diamonds and such, I've been using the advanced storage bucks to duplicate the amount that I get out of them there. But I do have 3 4K storage parts here already. So we can go up to 16K with those guys. So I've got the 16Ks. I'm just waiting on the Entro Dust to get the license. And then we can start trading those. But if you take your license, I'll take the advanced one and put it in there. If you pull it out until you get just 1 there, right? Because it's 2 plus or minus 1. So if you just cycle the trade until you see 1 at a time, you can really maximize on the number of bucks that you get out of there. So that was the other thing that I learned off camera there just a couple of seconds ago. But for now, back to idling, waiting on my Entro crystals to grow. And I think I've got just about everything else sorted out here. The only other thing, it says we could use this growth accelerator. So a couple of glass cables, 4 iron, 2 quartz glass, and we can get a growth accelerator. And we could put that in here. The only thing about that is you're going to have to put it in a way like when you've put these down, you need 2 spaces in between, right? So a space for this one to grow in, and then a space for this one to grow in. So the growth accelerator doesn't really work cleanly in the setups there. I guess you could put these kitty diagonally to each other and have a growth accelerator. No, that still doesn't work very well. So you'd have to put these 3 apart and then put the growth accelerator in, and you're only hitting one side at a time there. So if you do a big array of these, you can get some more use out of a growth accelerator. But for just getting started, it's probably not worth it at this point here. Can I water these? Will you guys grow faster if I water you? No, it doesn't appear so. Anyways, just wanted to chime in on that, and I'll bring you back when I've got the other 7. All right, we're back. These are not growing very fast, and this block has already changed from the weird named one to a Certus quartz block, and I don't think these buds are growing anymore on it. I just chopped off the bottom of that one for my 3rd Entro crystal, so I have 3 out of the 8 I need. So I think I'm gonna call the episode here and just off camera wait for that stuff to go, because I can't sit here all day and wait for that. But I looked to solve my redstone issues, because I was, obviously, I mentioned earlier, running out of it quite quickly. So there is a loop we can do where if we melt down the redstone and turn it into the ore, redstone ore. So the recipe in the solidifier is 8 pieces of molten redstone, because you get 90 for each. So 8 pieces of there gives you a redstone ore. and then the redstone ore you put in the enrichment chamber and you get 12 back out of it. So you net +4 every time you do that loop. So you can build that in a self-contained thing if you don't want to be running back and forth there all of the time, but I've just been kind of doing it manually for now. Down to a half a stack of stone in there. We just need to keep on top of that one. Feeding that in there. I've got a skeleton on me. Go get him, boy. Good doggo. Oh, he died in the sunlight. That's fine. Sit, boy. And this resource generator doesn't exactly keep up with it, but it's pretty close. It's only caught up here with the excess because I let this stop processing for a bit while I was thinking about that. But that's been my process for increasing my redstone back over again. There's probably other resources that we can do that for. I think iron. So the iron ore only takes 2. And then in the enrichment chamber, do we get 3 back out of it? No, we just get 2. So that's a net 0 there. Actually, if you melt the dust, so if you take the dust you get from the enrichment chamber, then you're netting 20% or 10% each outgo, because 180 goes in and you get 200 out. So that's a long loop. You definitely want to set that up automatically, not doing it manually like I've been doing with the redstone, but you could do it with iron if you wanted to increase on that, which I am considering doing. But for now, I think I have to, because this is changed to a Certus quartz block, and this is a mostly entroized fluix block here now. So this is growing really slowly over here. And these are small, medium, and 0 on the bottom. And those haven't grown at all in like 10 minutes or so since I noticed it. So I think I'll give it an hour for sure before I give up on it. But we're looking here at the entroized. You start out with the fully and then it degrades, right? Down to mostly, then half, then hardly, and then I guess from hardly it changes into this Certus quartz block after that. So probably gonna have to make more of these guys just to get even past where we are now. And we do need more of this entro ingots or other things in the pack, right? Like to get your extended machine frames, which are used in a bunch of other things, like the crystal assembler, which is the beginning of the next quest line. Well, I guess it's not that much, I guess. Oh, uses. Matrix wall. Interface upgrades, I don't know what those are. Wait, they're not even in there. I guess it's used in a couple of places, not a whole lot, but getting the 8 to get to there is the big one. And basically just working my way up to getting 8 of the 16K ME storage components, because we can use that little trick I just outlined a second ago to trade 1 for 1. So we get 8 of the elite storage bucks for each ME storage component, and then from there we can get the controller, and once we have the controller, then I can digitize all of my storage. I've already got the crafting terminal built. Not the crafting, the regular one, but to upgrade it to the crafting one is just a crafting table and a calculation processor, which is easy peasy. So I may as well do that before we go. And then the Fluix ME glass cable, I think we looked at this recipe earlier. So you need a quartz fiber and 2 Fluix crystal, and the quartz fiber is 6 glass blocks and 3 Certus quartz dust to get you that quartz fiber there. So that's all pretty basic, but that is applied energistics in about 30 minutes just to get to the base level for the storage at any rate. I hope you all enjoyed this episode. I appreciate you all for checking it out, and we will see you in the next one. See ya!